So everybody nowadays wants to talk about being online or digital marketing, SEO, pay per click, all of these things that can make your head spin. So I want to discuss today what our firm's doing in terms of our strategy and some of the questions that we've had answered, and I'm sure that people have questions of, because this can be very confusing. So I'm a lawyer, I'm in Connecticut, and we are putting together and have been putting together a digital marketing strategy. And so I think it's important, the first thing, to understand the differences between marketing, branding, and advertising. So marketing and branding are somewhat the same, but I think marketing really encompasses everything that you're doing in terms of trying to get clients. So this video is just going to focus on the digital aspects, or the online portion of that marketing. I think the most important thing that you need to do right away, and it's something that we have done, is to make sure that your branding is very, very tight. What I mean by that is to make sure that all of the information online and on the internet and on Facebook and social media and anywhere anyone can find any information about you is consistent, is tight, and looks very similar. For example, the first thing that we have done as a law firm is make sure that all of our locations are verified. Now, we've actually had a problem with this because we have 8 office locations, and one of them we're having difficulty getting Google to send the postcard to the right address. But we've gotten 7 of our locations verified. Now, what that means is that when you go on Google and you type in our law firm, Billings, Barrett, and Bowman, the location comes up and it shows up right there. It's a confirmed address. And then it allows you to have access to that profile. So you can put up photos of the office, some basic information. We've just kind of done the basics of that, and I recommend that you do the same. Make sure your Google My Business page is verified. You can go on there, you can log on if you've never done this before. Sometimes Google may have crawled something and have created that address for you, but you yourself can go on, log on, create an account, and make sure that all that information is taken care of and verified. Second, you want to have consistency in your branding. So you want to make sure your logo appears on that Google page or Google My Business page, but also make sure that your website is very, very slick and looks good. Spend time and money on that. The website is going to develop trust. And so the person and your client who goes to that website, and whatever you do, personal injury, trust and estates work, criminal law, corporate law, insurance defense work, whatever your client or audience is, you want to make sure that that website engages them, talks about them, and encourages them to contact you. That is a super important aspect of it. Encourage contact. The goal, once that client or potential client's on that website, is for them to contact you. We as lawyers, we're not looking for the quick hit, right? We're looking for a long-term relationship about a detailed issue. It's hardly ever going to be enough to just get a one online inquiry. We're always going to need some follow-up information. So make sure that the website is encouraging phone calls or emails or text messages so that you can return that potential client's phone call and get more information. So you've got the Google My Business set up, website set up. Now you've got to look to the next aspect, and that's Facebook. Facebook is one of the largest, most popular websites. Google is now giving Facebook authority, of course, and they are crawling Facebook. They were not doing that before, but that's a recent change. And so we want to make sure that your Facebook page is up to date with your logo, the appropriate office locations, things of that nature. Now, it doesn't mean you need to be on Facebook every 5 seconds, and it doesn't mean you need to boost posts or advertise, and we'll talk about that later in the video, but your Facebook page has got to look the same as your Google page, which has got to look the same as your website. So if you take that all into account, you're going to have a pretty tight brand there. Now, there's a number of other things that you can do, okay? But I just want to focus on the basics here. There's other aspects of branding, but you need to have consistency, all right? But I'll say this, if you don't have a logo professionally designed, if you don't have professional headshots, if you don't have some at least a little bit of video content, you may want to look into that. Now, there's numerous other social media websites out there, Instagram, LinkedIn, things of that nature. That would all apply to the same. but we're really, again, focused and diving in on the basics here. So we've done that. We also added LinkedIn and Instagram to those, but less so. So now that your branding's kind of in place, you're now ready to try to market that branding, right? And so one of the ways that you can do that is through content marketing, creating content, having on your website consistent content about blogs, aspects of cases that you handle. The blogs should be about issues that are going on, interesting things that your potential clients would want to read, that Google will see and would raise your profile. All right. That is called search engine optimization. Search engine optimization is when Google takes into account every aspect of your business and optimizes it the content is optimized for Google's search, okay? Because they're looking at every aspect of you. So you want to be a consistent presence online so that Google sees that and knows that you are a criminal attorney, so that if someone searches criminal attorney near their location and you are close to that location, you are going to appear in the search results. Whether that location is statewide, such as all throughout the state of Connecticut, or to a specific location like New Haven or a city, Hartford, Colchester, small town in Connecticut, you want to make sure that you're going to show up for those types of searches. All right. Now, there's other aspects of SEO that can go in more detail, and lots of companies will sell you that, okay? They're going to talk to you about directories, which I'll get to in a second. I think some are important. They're going to talk to you about how you need to have extraordinary amounts of content, how you need to have attachment to and backlinks to local sources. And I think those are all important aspects of it. But just in the basics, if your website and the things that you're talking about on Facebook and on Google are consistent with your practice areas, you're just going to get optimized. And that's something that you don't usually have to pay for. Now, once you've got those aspects and those parts of your kind of brand and your SEO in good shape, you now want to look towards directories. Now, directories were kind of an old school way to create backlinks, and it's kind of how Google had created authority a long time ago. They fell out of favor a bit because they became spammy, and there was directories created just for directory's sake in an attempt to game the system. Okay. The directories I'm talking about are the directories that have become authoritative over time. If you do a search right now, which I just did, for criminal attorney New Haven, Connecticut, you are going to get a variety of directories that come up on the first page. So you'll get some lawyer pages, some direct attorneys, and I think, of course, those attorneys have done a great job of SEO. But you're also going to see directories. Now, the top 5 directories that come up in my searches of the basic lawyer search that you would expect in someone to do who's looking for a lawyer in your area were superlawyers.com, avo.com, justia.com, findlaw.com, and lawyers.com. Those are 5 websites that all came up on the first page of a lot of Google searches that I've done. And so when I saw that, I went to my own personal directory page within those, and I noticed that the information was out of date. And so I updated it with a photograph. It should be a professional headshot that you have done. I updated my phone number, my email address obviously for our office locations. Some of those websites have the opportunities for reviews. We'll get to that in a second, but that's another aspect too of all of this. So make sure those top 5 directories are filled out correctly. Now there's hundreds, if not thousands, of other directories on the internet that may help with SEO, but let's again focus on the basics here. Get those 5 done. Those were something that was not done for our law office, and we made that change, and we think that it was a positive one. All right. Now, another thing you can control without spending a bunch of money on SEO or professional consultants are reviews. Our law firm has done what we think is a good job of getting reviews on Avo. we are doing an okay job getting reviews on Google. You need to get on there and get those Google reviews and Avvo reviews. Find happy clients who have had great success with you and who want to give you a positive review. All right. Use your email list or follow up at the close of the case and say, hey, can you give me a review? If you ask nicely, every review that you get is going to increase Google's awareness, but also give you extra authority in Google's eyes that you are someone who can handle these types of cases and are doing good work. Okay? That is going to be very helpful to you, and it's something you can do without spending any money. Now, once you have good reviews, good website, good SEO, consistent branding across those directories and other social media platforms, now you can take the package that you've created and now it makes sense to advertise it. Okay? That is going to help you so that those advertisements work, because every click you get on an advertisement is not always going to result in a client, but it's going to create a situation in which client and people are remembering that consistent branding. So pay-per-click ads are expensive. Social media ads, less expensive, but still a cost. And so experiment with them. Try different ads. Try and see what works. Okay. Now, of course, every jurisdiction is different, and you got to make sure that you comply with any ethics issues or submissions for ads. But I personally have run ads on YouTube and Facebook and on some search engines, and we've had success with those. And I think that's because our branding is consistent. And more so than direct client leads, we think that that advertisement has helped to raise our profiles in the community. And so maybe at that moment that person doesn't hire us, but they remember us. And so we think that advertisement does help you to increase your brand awareness and will help you get clients. Now, once you're doing advertising and branding, you've now got to focus on brand awareness and trustworthiness. I've seen many surveys, always high on the list of clients and what they're looking for in an attorney is trust. And so that brand authority that you can give yourself can come from a variety of ways. Historically, right, when advertising was finally legal for lawyers to do, which is actually only recently, TV commercials and billboards were the primary focus of brand authority and brand awareness. Nowadays, you have access, you can be your own media company. And so I think if you can start doing videos about the content or what your clients are facing or how you can help clients and putting that out there on YouTube, and the content is interesting, people actually want to watch it, that's going to give you more and more brand authority, and that's going to enable you to capture clients. And if you get into some more advanced videos, which we're not going to talk about now, you can start tracking who's watching your videos, and you can start marketing directly to those persons through ads, which then is going to hopefully lead to more clients for you. So, in recap, first thing you absolutely have to do is have consistent branding across all the areas I talked about: website, social media, directories. Second, make sure you're doing a little bit of SEO, whether through a blog, creating some content that's relevant. The advanced strategy on that I talk about later with the brand authority is creating videos, creating content that people want to do, and pushing that content on social media. Finally, once that is all completed, focus on advertising. Now, pay-per-click strategies can be very expensive. Social media advertising I talked about can be costly as well. You've got to come up with a strategy and think about it. And that may be where you want to engage a professional, which we have done. But those are ways, if you do all of those things above, you're just going to have a more consistent online or digital presence. And I think it's going to result in more clients and more success for your law firm.